I know if you are working on SEO, you obviously want that to be successful. But if we want something to be successful, one, we need to know what we're tracking, and two, we need to actually track it. So when it comes to SEO, I want to help you identify the specific KPIs or key performance indicators that you should be tracking to really tell, are you on the right track? Is the work that you're doing actually making the difference? Now, when it comes to data, I know it's really easy to get bogged down in all of the details and all of the data that is available or could be available to you. So I really want us to stay high level and focus on the data that is really going to make the difference in being able to clearly tell us and the client, is our SEO work successful? And we can use that data to really define what it is we're doing and we're going to be doing. So before I share these specific KPIs with you, I want to make sure that you realize that when you look at these KPIs, you look at this data, you can do so through different perspectives. First, we can look at this data in terms of the website as a whole. We can also look at the data for specific landing pages, or even specific sections of the website. We can look at this for specific devices even. So if we think about visitors who are using the website on a desktop or a mobile device or even on a tablet. We can also look at this data by location of the visitor, that is, and even break this down by search engine. So even though we're looking at a handful of KPIs, we have to look at what's important. What are we working on growing? Is it specific landing pages and how they're performing? Are we working on improving a certain section of the website? Was our mobile website not performing well and that's been our focus? So you really got to tweak this to, again, what your goals are and what you are working on improving. Okay, let's look at the KPIs. The first KPI to track is ROI. What is the return on investment? I have said this time and time again. Clients do not care about things like rankings and traffic, keywords, and analytical data before they're going to care about how much money does this make the business. So this comes down to, is the SEO making us money or losing us money? And if so, how much? Let's look at an example. If $2,000 is being spent on SEO and it's producing $10,000 in revenue, well, that is a 400% ROI. That is the first number to focus on and to put out there, especially if you are sharing this with clients. Now, for an e-commerce site, some of these numbers can be easier to track because, well, all of the numbers are going to be there on the website in the dashboard there. But if you are working on a website where the leads come in as phone calls or the business actually has to close some of these leads offline, you're going to be relying on some of the data coming directly from the business itself, and it relies them to track that appropriately in order to really see, is the SEO paying off? So if you don't have data, you're not able to get that from the business, the next best thing that you can report on is conversions. So this can be looking at the number of visitors and then looking at the number of leads that we actually get to get an estimate for the conversion on the back end. And we can even track that if you have different ways to convert visitors, whether they're signing up for an email list or requesting a quote, calling a phone number, watching a video, and so on. Now, real quick, if you would like to get your hands on a free client SEO report so you can see exactly what you should be sharing and reporting to a client, you can use the link down below to grab mine, or you can go to portableentrepreneur.com/SEO report. All right, back to the KPIs. So KPI number 2 is traffic. What is happening with that traffic? Are they signing up for that newsletter? Are they requesting the quote? Have they started a trial or watched a video? Whatever your conversion goal is for that website. Now, when it comes to traffic, there are some specific KPIs that it's good to keep an eye on. And these are sessions, new versus returning visitors, conversion rate for different goals. So you can actually set up specific goals within Google Analytics, for example, and I'll leave a link to that down below if you want to know how to actually set that up. But if you want to see how many visitors are watching that video or how many people are actually requesting that free download and so forth, you can set up goals to determine that. We can also look at time per session, pages visited per session, and the bounce rate. All right, the third KPI that we want to track is rankings. When it comes to rankings, we're talking about real rankings. You know, the keywords that actually matter, the ones that are actually going to send traffic, not those keywords we can rank number 1 or 2 for, but they don't actually provide us with any real leads or traffic coming into the website. So this is why we really report this behind ROI and traffic, because rankings without traffic and revenue, they don't matter at all. So here we can look at our rankings per page, and we can even look at the different keywords that that particular page is ranking for and group that all together. And we can also look at the different rankings, how many keywords are ranking in the top 3 positions, in the top 10, the top 50, the top 100, and we can see our improvement there. And lastly, we're going to look at what we would consider other KPIs. Now, other KPIs are the ones that, as an SEO, the one who's actually performing the SEO work, you're going to care about, but the business owner really isn't going to care about this, because, well, we've covered what they want to know. How much is this making me? Are we heading in the right direction? Am I getting more visitors coming to the site? I'm getting more leads because of this. Revenue is starting to follow. So we've addressed what they really want to know. So these other KPIs can be things like visibility in organic search results. So this is looking at the market share of the keywords and then comparing that really to the search volume there. How much volume are we getting? How much visibility are we getting based on the search volume that is available for those keywords? We can also look at website health. So this is really a technical SEO overview of the website and on-page optimization. Have there been errors, warnings, issues on the site, and are we improving this? So these can be things like meta titles and descriptions, headings, duplicate content, issues with robots.txt, and so on. We also want to look at crawlability. Are search engines crawling our most important pages, or are we using a lot of our crawl budget on pages that don't matter? Another good KPI to look at is our organic CTR, or click-through rate. So this is a percentage of people who click on a page after their search triggers an impression. So the higher the number, the better. So the more people that are actually seeing your results in search engines and then deciding to click on yours. And lastly, backlinks. We know that backlinks are important for SEO. So seeing not just how many backlinks do we have, but really what's most important is the number of referring domains. If we have 10,000 backlinks, but we only have 2 referring domains, well, it's not really as good as if we just have 5 or 7 or 10,000 backlinks. So this is something to really pay attention to. How many referring domains do we have? And also, what is our domain authority? Because that should slowly be improving over time. So with these KPIs, we can really keep it simple. We can make sure that we and the client are really both focusing on what matters most, being the revenue, then the traffic, and then the ranking. So that's why it is in this specific order. So we're focusing on really what matters most. And then we can use this data to continue to drive our month after month SEO actions. But of course, you always want to look at the business's goals. What are their reasons for SEO, and making sure that that is being tracked. But whatever you do, try to keep it as simple as possible. What are just a handful of things that you can track from month to month that are really going to tell you how successful your SEO campaign is, and if that is helping the business to reach their goals, and try to leave out anything else that is purely nice to have, but could simply be a distraction from what matters most. Again, just a quick reminder, if you want that free client SEO report, head over to portableentrepreneur.com/SEO report. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all about these KPIs, tracking successful SEO campaigns, let me know down in the comments below. And if there's anything I missed that you track and you believe is important, I would love to hear that too. Thanks again. I'll catch you next time.